really that well with the composition.
Vayne. Vayne would have been such a weird choice in this draft that already has a hyper carry.
Yeah, I think KT, whatever they pick, they want to be able to defensively peel and just allow Jiwoo to pop off. A second threat would make sense though. Yep. But Vayne maybe a little bit too precarious.
Something with some CC. The Akali we were thinking about.
Yeah,
also
I think
going to be considered by BDD.
Moving down the tier list a bit, I feel like they're going to go for the Galio instead. I feel like Galio doesn't have the most synergy with Trundle. So obviously the pillar can be a bit of annoying terrain to deal with, but it kind of fits in with the theme of protecting this Zeri and keeping it safe. Now, Zed is actually a pick we used to see into Trundle, similar to like how the cannon would work. You can circumvent the pillar really easily.
Yep.
And you have so much burst damage. You're obviously a squishy champion, so his ult gets limited value. But also, if you're trying to kill this primary target of
Zeri, they lock it in.
It makes sense. It makes sense. They are all about killing Jiwoo, and they are giving themselves the tools to do so. And now, what are we going for? Finally, in top lane for casting here.
And Aatrox. This makes this composition so incredibly brawly.
Yeah.
One of the great things about Zed as well is the Deathmark. I mean, you can't QSS that anymore. So it might give them the ability to maybe kill the Zeri as Renekton's locked in. Do we get the lore matchup? Perfect. Is it time to dust off the Kayn?
Oh my god, if he brings it out here.
If he did it, could you imagine?
He just stands in the chaos and just DKing on everyone.
Oh my gosh. Instead, he's just going to do whatever he wants, I guess. As Amundo would provide just so much frontline. Cassante would do a very similar thing.
I think I prefer maybe the Mundo. Someone like as a hen. I think you need a bit more for threat. Okay, I'm a little bit concerned about KT's composition here because, sure, if they can peel for Jiwoo, keep him alive through all the threats, he will be able to pump out damage, and you have a very bulky front line. And the thing is, in a front to back, like, you have to cut through all this bulk while Jiwoo is doing a ton of damage, but when are they ever going to front to back? That's just not how the game is going to be played.
I think they're going to back to front. Actually.
Yeah, they are going to hunt Jiwoo to the ends of the earth, and if he dies, where is the damage coming from? If he dies, how did KT win a fight? That is my question. I think it's not going to be as much of an issue early when there's a lot of base damage coming out, but it's going to hit a point where it's Jiwoo or bust.
Well, I'm a little bit frightened about it as well, especially with the fact that HANJIN BRION have a lot of ways to reposition and find options to take out this Zeri. It's a guarantee that she also has a cleanse as well, which means that the Zeri may not have as much power in the laning phase as well, as I don't know whether Teddy is going to be as forced to take that particular summoner spell, as there are a lot of knockups and things like that, annoying stuff on the side of KT, not necessarily stuns that they have to worry about nearly as much. I guess Final Chapter can get a little bit annoying on that front, but this is a scary draft for KT. Not a massive amount of damage outside of Jiwoo, finding that carry potential. We'll see whether he can here in the final game of the series. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
They messed up the ward clear. It's really easy to do with Zeri, but I think Effort didn't get off in time.
Oh,
the ward stays up, unfortunately. We've seen Jiwoo pretty recently coming onto KT after a very sudden change in the AD carry role. I think it's hard to develop trust for a player when it's such a new relationship between the team. But you have to have a lot of trust in your AD carry to go for a composition like this. This is all in on Jiwoo. And he does have that cleanse as expected, so does Teddy, but you have the double combat summoners from the Yuumi, which obviously helps out.
Yeah, Effort is going to spend some time off Jiwoo. Obviously, you and me going to be allowing that health bar to not really mean much of anything at all. As casting in perfect in a Shuriman matchup, at least there's that. Like, it's on theme in that way. But it's not quite Nasus versus Renekton.
We're so close.
Yeah, we were. Just not quite able to get there. As I'm very intrigued as to what Gideon can do on this Zed. I feel like he's hovered it a few times so far this season and has never actually pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
I think he's wanted to.
Got a decent, as I was saying, we used to get a decent amount of it before when Trundle was like really heavy meta.
Yep.
And I know Canyon would play a good amount to good success.
Certainly has been a fan of this one in the past. Has also brought it out in some pretty pivotal matches, if I remember back correctly. Might have been, it was like Kane and Zed. These were like the pickups that Canyon would like to go towards.
I think Neferi's kind of taken Zed's place in the meta, though.
Yeah, kind of. Thankfully, it's Fearless. So now that Neferi's gone, we needed something else. Gideon gone down pretty low in the jungle here, but is just getting through his Brambleback. We'll head towards the Krugs.
So one of the things Zed was notorious for in the jungle was a really fast clear, but they did kind of nerf his clear a little bit. They nerfed it so hard that they actually had to hotfix buff it back because they really gutted him in the jungle.
Went a little bit too far.
But that was quite a bit earlier this year. More recently, they nerfed his damage on his E, his Shadow Slash, the spin, and also the passive. So I think that's just because how dominant he was in solo queue. That's the thing when you get to Fearless, even if it's a champion that isn't performing as well in Pro, it's been nerfed. At this stage, you need a champion that fits what you require from them.
Yeah.
Even if it is a bit weaker than Neferi has been recently.
The theme is often very important. And the theme for KT with this draft is Gio do all the damage. And the theme for Bro is everyone do all of the damage all of the time, forever.
Yep. That's one of the things, though, with these compositions, when you are low damage, if you get ahead, it just doesn't really matter that much. And you don't have any bulky targets to cut through. So this game, getting an early lead will be very important. Now, Gideon's fishing for perfect here. Remember, Zed has that execute damage on the passive, so a lot of threat on a tower.
Yeah.
He thinks twice about it, and it's a good call because Cuz was hanging around here.
Yeah, no information actually goes over to KT, as he doesn't walk into that ward or out of that tri-brush. It's Perfect now just trying to get rid of casting here. He was successfully able to do so as far as being on KT. He got rid of casting. That did happen. But dealing with this top lane out of turret, not able to do so just yet. This Renekton is looking pretty scary. I'm going towards his bottom side. It's very low on mana. Gio and Effort just going 1-for-1 in farm is kind of exactly what you want to be doing as the Zeri and the Yuumi.
I mean, this is why, obviously, it's very different now, Zeri and Yuumi, to when it was, like, extremely strong. But one of the reasons it was so frustrating is because it would have a lot of sustain, and if you try to all in it, it would have the triple combat sums thanks to Yuumi. So it's actually deceptively difficult to all in, unless you had, like, a crazy kill lane and just CC'd them, stuck them down. But it means when these little passive trades come in, even though Yuumi doesn't have the sustain she used to, he was just healing up from the poke, getting rid of poke back in return, Namgun's mana is running out, and an all-in just isn't really on the cards.
And so far, the Bros have built up a little bit of an advantage, mainly in this about a wave lead that Roma has in mid lane, as well as the extra pressure that Casting's being able to put out towards the top side of the map. Dragon has now spawned. We're starting off with a Hex Tech so far in this game, as Tivers been available. And Roma is just going to annoy BDD. But he just Justice punches his way away. Ooh, nicely done there by Perfect. Just going to use that Q stack in order to deny a cannon.
Yeah, Casting playing very respectful here, which I do think makes a lot of sense. Especially when you're near the tower off Xante, it's always a concern. You step too far, he's getting CC'd under there for an hour.
Yep.
BD now has access to the ult, so obviously Roma gets his, which allows him to put a lot of pressure down in lane. But I think BDD having the chance to move and assist lanes, we saw him doing that a lot earlier in the series, making his impact known in the side lanes. He's on a champion that really is enabled by that in this game.
Because you're going to get found here by Namgung, as he does just back away from this Dragon. Actually wastes a fair bit of time, got through half of that Drake. As Gideon in the mid lane shows himself, and this Trundle is just going to have to go back home. So Bro actually going to get a lot of tempo from that. As Teddy now actually just going to take a lot of damage from Gio and Effort, who will be able to proc some overgrowth. Not quite able to get that plate just yet. Now we'll be able to get there, as Teddy needs to be a little bit careful.
Oh, nice block.
Yep.
Deny the minion.
Stendo Beam, not quite doing enough, is now Bloom and Burst from Namgung is going to hit a couple of times, but it's otherwise not going to do enough. As Gideon is on a control ward.
He's level 6, though.
Yeah,
I don't think Cuz can contest him at all. He doesn't have the backup from his lanes. There's Prio in both lanes for Bro. And a level 6 Zed is not to be tangled with.
No. And you can see Roamer actually walks off to the side, is out of vision as he starts that recall. He could have been roaming up, so there was nothing that Cuz could do about that.
It is in his name.
Ah, yes. That's a very good point. Should have factored that in. but I've been kind of burnt by the fact that he did not roaming in like the first couple of games.
Yeah.
False sense of security. Maybe KT has a bit of that as well. As BDD is just going to get stunned underneath the turret. Tibbers goes down.
Annie an interactive champion.
She really is. Throw bear at bad guy.
Yep. It's pretty straightforward. Level 6 is starting to be hit from the bot lane, which we always see that as being an exciting point. I feel like Zeri Yumi, the ult combo, is so strong now. I think a lot of the power between the two champions is kind of budgeted there. But it's a lot of threat in the all-in. Obviously, Kai'Sa and Nico get some good power there too. But Namgung not quite level 6.
Yeah, I do feel like the bros want to get level 6 for Namgung and then find themselves a skirmish or a fight of some kind. And try and get themselves an angle for Gideon to execute someone. Use that death mark. Make it happen there. Drop a bear, for example. 360 is actually the advantage here from Roma. He's actually being able to push this.
Oh, Gideon's been spotted, and it's like 12 seconds until his shadow's back up.
Well, this is a little bit rough. Cuz could throw down. Okay, there's the ult. He's being throwing things down. Teddy might be in a little bit of trouble as the final chapter is not quite able to do too much. Extendo Beam also doesn't find the mark, as there's at least a cannon going over to Teddy. But now Cuz picks up the aggro on this Drake, and the bros are going to get pushed away.
Yeah, so used both their ultimates, but chunked out Teddy and Namgung, meant that they just definitely couldn't assist. Gideon realized he was not going to get this dragon and has to back away. Hextech into Ocean.
Okay.
So, means, honestly, I think 4 good options for the Soul. Chemtech Soul here, if KT get it, will be a ton of value.
Oh, it'd be ridiculous. I also think that the bros would like it as well. I think Renekton makes a lot of use of it. Even Namgung might be able to keep himself alive a little bit better. Roma with his Molten Shield, Teddy with his Killer Instinct. There's shields everywhere. That could work. But the bros probably just wanting to deny Drakes from now on, because KT's composition a little bit like a Juggernaut, as Cuz in a little bit of trouble. There's a great stun on a BDD. Still Namgung has to flash. I wanted to tango with this Trundle.
So rough when you get engaged. Well, not even engaged. Just the Trundle catches you off guard when you go into a brush, bites you, and then you have to, walk awkwardly away when the pillar comes down and force to flash. Namgung just get out. The summoner being down is a pretty big cost.
Well, Roma back in this mid lane. About a 200 gold lead here for the bros. That is Thornmail completed, though, for Perfect. Kind of feels like he's getting out of the woods as far as this matchup is concerned. With the Black Cleaver first, casting will retain a bit of relevance in this lane, being able to cut down the Cassante somewhat. But I think that it will get more and more difficult to kill as this game goes on.
They are not the best tank killers, that is for sure.
Yeah.
Enough champions, though, and enough gold ahead, and you can kind of just kill anyone, but they are not terrifically well equipped to cut through the likes of Perfect.
And I just want to see our first skirmish. First, more than 2 people fight.
Look at the vision setup that KT has on the bot side. You can see, there's the liner wards, 3 control wards through the river, and then, triple wards in the enemy jungle. At the entrances, notably, there's that ward over the wall. You can see it was just on the top left of the screen, next to the Tri-Brush.
Yep.
That wasn't being spotted, so Dragon's a while away still, but any action in that area of the map will be spotted out by KT. And this makes it very hard for Bro to push through without being spotted.
There's one very important thing, though, here in this game, and that is, this is the first game that the bros have been able to pick up triple grubs. And so Gideon, I think, is just going to be way happier.
Yep. And he also has completed.
Yeah, it does have that first item spike done already. This is a PowerPoint here for the bros.
I mean,
in goes Jiu. Pop Blossom is going to pick him up. Teddy gets exhausted, but he cleanses it. And that is first blood going over to Jiu Zeri as teleports are coming in from everyone. Roma coming down here to try and deal with this as Gideon wanting to get on over here. There is the stun. They do manage to get the follow-up kill onto Cuz. But it's Jiu staying alive. Look at how many summoner spells were used by KT. That is everything except for perfect stuff on cooldown.
A lot committed there. And you can see the power of Jiu and Effort's ultimates coming into play. But in the end, it's a 1-for-1. We do see Perfect getting some value off by himself. But this is so aggressive. And Teddy just does cleanse the exhaust, but doesn't quite have the damage yet to cut through Jiu and all the healing, all the shielding. Then this play, I thought Jiu was just dead. But Gideon, instead of overcommitting for the Zeri and potentially getting CC'd on the tower, He just takes the freebie for the CC set up by his solo laners. Gold is still dead even.
The problem is where the gold is going. And the fact that Jiu manages to get first blood is a huge deal here for KT.
Yeah, I will say, with every single summoner being burnt, they should probably be cautious around this next dragon. They already have a dragon in pocket. There's no huge pressure to contest it. But if you go in without those summoners, it could very easily be a bad time.
Oh, yeah. Then he does have first item completed as well. Did manage to complete the Kraken Slayer.
I also think, you know, they buffed the Eclipse, the max health damage. And there's just a lot of max health on the side of KT this game.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's like a tank shredder item, but it will get some good value.
Yeah, when you're against a Galio and a Trundle especially, like that is their tankiness in most regards. So I agree with you. I feel like the Eclipse value will be high. Some free shoes to be collected here by Gideon as well. As he goes back, we'll see what else he can purchase as just a cheeky pickaxe on top of the rest of his build. Haven't seen too much from the Zed just yet. Did manage to get the assist of that kill onto Cuz.
So 20 seconds until that dragon. All the vision that KT had earlier in the river has either decayed or been cleared out. So it's actually Bro with a bit of an advantage in terms of setup right now. And I think KT being optimistic about approaching that area makes a lot of sense given the summoner situation we talked about.
Yep.
You can see Cuz trying to move in here, but you have to really be careful.
He's going to be able to chomp down some of these wards. Gideon going to slink back into Fog of War for the moment. Casting with a bit of control here towards his bottom side. You can see playing up against BDD pretty comfortably as he is building a lot of magic resist right now, and a Renekton does not care about that. As KT have started off this dragon.
It's you playing in the banana brush to try and have some cover, but now he's potentially going to be flanked here. Just have the dash to go over the wall.
Namgun has flash. Voidseeker does come down. There is the teleport in from Perfect. As Gideon just flashes in, but it's still going to be the Drake secured by KT. Perfect tries to lock down the bottom lane, but Teddy is able to keep himself safe. There is that Chemtech Soul that we were talking about before. Does actually come on in. But KT, I mean, they've pulled back the gold advantage now, and the door is slowly closing here on the Bros.
I think Bro honestly approached that wrong. I think their game plan there from Gideon was just try and smite the dragon. We don't really want to fight. But I think the summoner advantage that we talked about, all they have to do is get on Jiwoo. And he doesn't have cleanse, doesn't have flash. Instead, Gideon commits for the dragon, maybe feeling the nerfs and that passive execute damage. Doesn't quite calculate it right. And they just give another kill over to Jiwoo. And now the summoners are going to start coming off cooldown. And KT are going to be so confident to fight.
Oh, yeah. And so there's still a quarter of that flash cooldown to go, as at least all of those flashes happened at exactly the same time. So Cuz, BDD, and Jiwoo will have them back up very, very soon. Might be a window for the Bros to find an angle, but I'm really surprised that Namgun, like, he's been so aggressive throughout this whole year, but doesn't go for the Flash Pop Blossom or anything like that in that last fight. Maybe wanting to make sure that Jiwoo had his skate on cooldown, but we'll never know. Hindsight's 20/20, all that good stuff. BDD here just going to crash this wave towards his top side. Rift Herald has been started here by the Bros, as the Voidseeker does find Jiwoo. And now a teleport in from the Renekton. A possible angle here for the Bros as BDD, heroic entrance at the ready. But it looks like they're just going to give this one up. Casting is going to come out of this brush and find an angle towards Cuz. Subjugate actually already down, as there is the Pop Blossom from Namgun, but it just does nothing at all. As KT, perfect defensive play, get BDD over the top, and they will just back out. But Rift Herald does go over to the Bros, so there's at least that.
All those flashes we were talking about were actually still down a little bit longer, but still, Bro, very hesitant. Don't want to overcommit and get knocked up by the Galio ultimate. And the end result is KT will back away safely, but it is Bro who got the Herald at the end of the day.
And Teddy just going to clear out that wave and look to head back. We'll see how far the Rage Blade is away, as I believe still needs a bit more cash to put that second item together. Guys are going to be feeling a bit better at that time, as Jiwoo's Burst Fire is really starting to rip through these minion waves now. And he's putting himself together almost a 20 CS advantage, returning that favor from that previous game. And Casting just trying to do his best to cling on to relevance here in this game, as many of our Renektons do. I'm looking for an angle, but I don't know whether he is going to be enough to help gank this guy.
Yeah, I do not think they have the damage at all. So
No.
Faircraft will go unchecked here. And right now, it's still a very close game, but I feel like Bro just haven't found the windows that we would have really hoped for right now.
Yeah, Pathmaker pushes Casting back. Not going to quite find that Q. Casting is at least retaining a bit of a CS advantage. The gold lead is nowhere near where they want it to be. I think the Bros have got one more team fight in them. But if they lose that one, that's when this game really starts to go by the wayside. That's where we start to get Wolf certification out.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends, though, because obviously they're not in an ideal spot, but if you just explode the Zeri, even if KT get a lead, if you just explode Zeri, I feel like the KT comp might flounder.
They may not have very much to do. Now Gio is just going to skate on over towards Roma. Bear goes down. There's the exhaust, though, and goodbye, Annie. Wasn't a whole lot they could do about that one.
Great read of the play. You know, having cleanse as well means Roma just can't really do anything in that situation to shut down Jiwoo. And a third kill for the Zeri is really twisting the knife right now.
Oh, that was a bit cute. Trying to take this Rift Herald away from Cuz, and they still managed to get the charge.
That was well played.
That was very cute. A bit risky. Could have gone for the full drive to the bottom lane, but probably looked at these minion wave situations and was like, I ain't risking that.
Yeah. So, end result, they get good value from the Herald. It's still KT with the lead right now. Dragon in 40 seconds, a third for KT. And the Chemtech Soul, we've talked about how it'd be great with the bulky champions. But also, Zeri's kind of going to become effectively a bulky champion when you have like all the shielding and healing from the Yumi. It's going to take a while to cut through her. Any extra resistance is going to make things really awkward.
One thing I do want to note, though, is the Rift. We have Mega Cone Nico on the Rift, and it's piloted by Namgung as well. As we check out this replay, for some reason, of Roma just getting brutalized. That was a tough one to watch. Now the Drake is going to spawn.
Okay, notably no exhaust from Effort, which I know Gideon and Teddy feel pretty good about. No cleanse from Jiwoo as well. Splash availed to Roma. I think whoever it is, whether it's Roma, whether it's Namgun, you need to find Jiwoo and stun him.
Well,
Casting can also do that. But I think the mid tower being up, even though it's low, makes it a little awkward. You can't find a route in behind so easily.
Right now, they haven't found any damage onto Teddy. That is good news for the Bros. Gio as well, very healthy though. And Cuz, control of the river with a bit of a battle between BDD and Casting down here towards his bottom side. If Casting can keep the Galio busy, can be a little bit problematic here. As Teddy's doing his very best to soften up Perfect. Does get a solo target there, the Acathian Rain. And now there's the Flash Bear already skating over the wall. Gorgeously played. BDD does make his way in and doesn't quite find the taunt. But KT, they keep the President alive. And this might be their avenue towards the Dragon. Baron has also just spawned, but I don't know whether that is going to quite be the target. The announcement was there, and I read what was on the screen. And it looks like Cuz on this Drake right now, just looking for a free soul point. He is going to back away. As Gideon going to get that wrap around. The rest of KT now moving over to try and help out. Shurikens come down, the extender beam comes in.
Casting, look at him go.
Yeah, stacking up all of that rage. Now can he try and find an angle? The Flash Pop Blossom picks them all up into the back. There goes Teddy as they've taken down the President. And the Cat does find another target to get on top of, but no one can do enough damage to take care of the Bros. And they're going to be able to get themselves a Dragon, maybe even a Baron off the back of that play.
They care more about the Baron right now. They saw Jiwoo, they targeted him, didn't even have time to flash, didn't get a chance. A great flank by Casting. This is the fated Huni Baron though.
Oh no.
The health bar's already a little low. 3 members of KT and Jiwoo not long till he respawns. Already they're getting shredded.
Yeah, this is a really difficult Baron. They are doing a lot of damage to it, but they are just going to back away.
It's such a heavy cost because now they have to back off and the Dragon can be taken.
Well, the Bear comes down. Can they actually get a pick? They can! They baited BDD, who now flashes the wrong direction. Now I'm going looking for an angle. Gideon can get over that wall if he does get a shadow back.
There's no CC. You can just try TP now. There's no one in range. But he actually just walks it off.
Oh, wait. They're just going to get soul point anyway.
Yeah, that's sort of... They left the Dragon. They should have just taken the Dragon. They didn't respect the Huni Baron, and they end up paying for it.
Oh, dear. Well, at least they showed Jiu that he could bleed, or something like that. As we're going to have a look at this one from Namgung once again.
Teddy!
Do you think he wanted to kill Zeri?
That's what I'm doing.
I get the vibe.
Yeah.
A great setup, great team fight, and yet you don't get the dragon. I think that must feel rough for Bro in this situation. And you know what feels even worse is the fact that Jiwoo didn't flash. Like, obviously, him getting the flash would make the fight a bit more difficult, but the fact he has both summoners coming off the back of that and they got the dragon anyway, not the best position to be in for Bro.
Yeah, it feels like you're kind of back to square one, but they now have a bit more money, right? They have the gold lead moving into this. And yes, Soul Point is going to make the macro game a lot more difficult for the Bros. But staying in parity as far as the money is concerned is going to be very interesting because the advantage that the Bros have is damage. And so you need money to fund that.
They know they can kill Jiwoo if they connect, if they get everything onto him. So important for them to just keep doing that. It's a simple approach in what you need to do against this KT composition.
Effort has done more damage than Jiwoo. That's pretty cute. These prowling projectiles have been finding the mark. As the longest Q of all time does find Biddy. After that Justice Punch away. Okay.
Kenji looking for perfect on the bot side, but I think he's just way too tanky, so...
I feel like these are the two champions that should not be trying to kill perfect on the bot side as well.
Yeah, I don't think Annie would fare better either, or Nico.
Yeah.
Maybe just don't try killing him. I think you need Teddy there. Teddy does have a lot of DPS now with the Kraken Slayer against Zeus Terminus. He does shred. He can cut through some of these tankier targets if they overstep. But again, a front to back isn't going to feel fantastic. It needs to be the Zeri getting exploded. And the thing is, even if you don't kill Jiwoo, as long as you get him low enough and out the fight, that can be enough. It doesn't have to be like Jiwoo dies. If he's unable to fight, unable to participate for whatever reason, that can often just tick the box you need.
And we know that Teddy is so good at late game Kai'Sa as well.
Just say Teddy's so good at
late game champions in League of Legends. But it felt easier to say late game Kai'Sa. But this champion he has had just incredible plays on. And more recently in his career as well. Felt like last year this was one of his sort of ace picks that he had.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we're going for it again. The Infinity Edge is completed.
And the Mikhails.
Oh dear.
That's a lot of power. And the mandate for the Gallia? Okay, KT are spiking pretty hard right now.
Yeah, that is quite a spiky KT. 2 minutes on the Drake as well. I mean, there is still that Baron up and available. As casting does hit level 16. Perfect will get stunned up here. That was a cute little trade, but not too much more going to come of it. As Jiu just going to send the message that he is a lot more scary now.
I get the message.
Yeah, me too.
I wonder if Bro got the message.
I think they've pressed tab by now. As the Jack Shows comes in for perfect. So, yeah. Spiking.
Yeah.
Even the Spirit Visage is kind of a big one for Cuz.
Yep. A lot of big spikes coming in. Minute 40 until that Dragon. And Bro aren't really close to getting over the hump for any of their items. But they have 2 items completed for most champions, 3 for Teddy. It just feels like those spikes for KT are really significant. You can see KT heavily prioritizing the Skull Crab around where that Dragon will spawn. Yeah, and this fight feels like this entire series might just hinge on it. Soul potentially for KT, but a one fight for either side likely going to lead to that Baron if they take down enough members of the opposite team.
That's the thing. See whether they can risk the Huni Baron once again. It was the demise of Bro, felt like, in that last exchange. That's why they're staring down the barrel of Soul Point. But that gold lead has remained the same, only increased a little bit here for the Bros. I think there is still another opportunity, but it will take a team fight. And if we go all the way back to the very beginning of this series, that was KT's bread and butter. That was how they were able to win Game 1 all those hours ago. And now with Jiu this strong, there's a chance they can just do it again.
I will say, Bro had that successful Game 2 on the back of a straightforward composition. And I think their task, their goal is straightforward. Straightforward doesn't always mean easy.
Yeah.
And Jiu has a lot of assistance from his team to help keep him alive. You saw before when he dashed over the wall, and the Gallia ult was like immediate. To kind of give him that shield, give him that protection. 15 seconds on the Dragon. Is KT have control of the area? Zed not the best at kind of walking in and face checking. Even though he has the shadow for safety, you don't want to get caught out. So KT are the ones with the area on lockdown.
Yep, I do like Teddy actually throwing a lot of these Void Seekers at Cuz and actually finding his mark, understanding where they are. The Drake has now spawned. You've got a Crocodile lying in wait in the river, natural habitat. And he does get spotted here by BDD. All right, Perfect also spotted out of position.
I'm going to still chunked at this point, thanks to a bit of damage from Jiwoo.
Oh, okay. In they go, looking for a bit of an angle here. As Perfect taking a lot of damage here from Teddy. Shade Splitter does come out. There's a flash in from Namgung. They killed him again! They traded, but they've managed to take down the President. As now Kuz is going to get dove on by Teddy's killer instinct. They'll take a mid out of turret. They should. Oh, are we doing it again, guys? Just take the dang Dragon.
Round 2 with the Huni Baron. Let's see if they can do it. Health bars are low, but they do have a good amount of damage. Shielding. Oh, dodge away from that.
Yeah.
Get hit by that. That's not good. Oh, the Tibbers tank.
Tibbers tank. There you go. You love to see it. All right, now with casting there, they should be able to take this.
Jiwoo just played this one so aggressive and just stepped forward and just challenged them. And Namgung was low. He died. He gets the knock-up, and that's enough. And I just think this is not how you need to play this composition, because
you have to be so careful. Deathmarks are trying to avoid some damage, but still BDD manages to take down the Zed. Remember, this is Seoul. They just lost their jungler. BDD is taking a lot, but there is Teddy. The all-out comes in. He flashes, but he's still going to go down. Now Namgung and Roma are here. I mean, there is some damage from this Annie, but I think this is still Chemtech Seoul.
Yeah.
I stand by what I said. Just take the dang Dragon.
Not a fan of the Dragons, are the bros.
Well, they are a fan of just diving on top of this area and killing her. So they trade that for the Drake. Perfect taking some damage. A Pop Blossom comes off cooldown. They pull Perfect into the sky. Casting's going to get taken down, though. The war of attrition is being won, and Kuz is a Trundle with a Chemtech Soul Pro. And you gave it to him.
They didn't have their DPS there to shred through. And yes, they killed Jiwoo, but Kuz is just munching on them. They need the damage of the Kai'Sa, or at least the Zed. He was so low when he went for this, and he kind of just face checked. He could have gone like further down and just gone over the wall.
Just a bit of a whoopsie.
Yeah, they just got baited by Huni. I think that's what we could say.
We've all been there.
Yeah. And then in the ensuing fight, they're like, you know what? We can kill Jiwoo again. But they don't have a plan for after they kill Jiwoo. And Perfect does a lot of work just creating disruption here, but then Kuz just starts munching. And I think people often disrespect like one of the issues with Trundle is you become a pillar bot because you can't get in range without getting shredded late in the game. But with Teddy not there, no one has the damage to cut through him, and he can just keep chomping and doing a ton of DPS.
And so now, the Bros have extended their gold lead.
Okay, let's quickly take a look at the top left of the screen. And we want to analyze. We're going to do this as a team effort.
Okay.
Max, okay, we're analyzing.
A team effort, that's KT.
It worth taking the Baron over the Dragon? So I want you to look at, it's called the Red Bull Baron Power Play.
Okay. What does that dash mean at the beginning? Yeah,
I believe that's a negative number.
Oh.
So we're going to put that in the cons column. And KT get that cute little Chemtech symbol next to their side. So.
Oh, what does that mean? That seems a bit putrid. You know, like it doesn't look great. But is that a good thing?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Would you say that it's good for a champion like Trundle, for example, that likes to heal a lot?
Or maybe Kasante with Spirit Visage. That's disgusting.
Oh, my lord.
Okay.
Even Galio. Plus, we haven't even mentioned the worst offender, which is this Yuumi. Yeah, KT make very good use of the Chemtech Soul. There's also a More of Malmortius on Jiu. Like,
More feels like a bit of... I'm going to be honest, More feels like a weird buy, because a big thing with More is the shield when you're low. But most of the fights have been like Tibbers or Nico being dropped on you. And then the AD champions actually finish you off.
Yeah,
so,
then you're just dead.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's the best buy. I think maybe like a GA could have been better, although maybe the thought process is if you die, are you going to survive afterwards? But you probably could, honestly, if the tanks cause enough disruption. Either way, the buy is the buy. And Jiu once again playing with confidence. But is it too much confidence? It's a delicate line, I feel like this game has been.
It is a very good point. Both of the 80 carries sitting on a lot of money right now.
I think the main thing is that we are approaching the Elder Dragon. And we knew it had to go to 5 games, but deep down we also knew it had to be decided this way. It had to be the Elder.
And so it's kind of like how our predictions went. Flipping a coin, but what the teams are going to do is they're going to flip a Baron.
They're going to
flip an Elder.
And they're going to blow on the coin in the air to try and put it in towards their favor, which is technically cheating. They wouldn't allow you to do that, but we're going to let them off this time because this has been such a captivating series.
Indeed. And then they're going to fight a dragon. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Got it.
While the coin is still in the air and they're blowing on it.
Man, I knew that they were multi-talented, but I didn't know it quite went that far.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect is very dangerous. There's an Infinity Edge on Teddy.
With what crit?
Well, I don't know. Don't ask complicated questions.
No.
You know how you take that one crit rune? And you know what they used to say? Better players crit more. This is all Teddy needs.
Just if he crits on every single
If you believe
attack,
in yourself.
it's super high DPS.
Absolutely. Just believe in the optimal outcome.
Yeah.
And it will happen.
Some decisions here when it comes to itemization, but we'll see how the play goes.
Yeah, I think he probably saw all of the MR items and was like, can I have the thing with big AD?
Maybe he just saw that he had enough money for IE. Was like, you know what? Yeah.
Sure.
Why not?
Well, he can build some shoes now as well. We'll see what he's actually going to purchase in that area. As they have increased their gold lead. But ladies and gentlemen, a gold lead of 3,000 at 33 minutes and 33 seconds. Oh, that's pretty cool. We managed to hit that big number when it was the same amount of gold in advantage, like the 3.
Okay.
That's fine.
We have the Knight's
This
Vow.
doesn't matter, is what I meant.
It does not. Knight's Vow for Trundle, which presumably is on the is on the Zeri. No surprise. Seeker's Arm Guard for BDD. We have the Echoes of Helia just came in for effort. And then actually a Frozen Heart for Namgoon. So some item completions coming through, but some are midway. Like Casting has just the BF Sword, Gideon has just the Samira item that I forget the name.
Who, what, has what?
Gideon has the little stopwatch thing.
Oh, yeah. The GA on the way to item.
Yes, that's what it's called.
Yeah. Or it's a something pocket watch, I'm pretty sure.
The Death Stance component.
Yeah.
Yeah. 13 seconds. Jiwoo is the main character. Can they take him out? That's the question. Will Teddy crit 3 times in a row?
Obviously. But can he actually find a target to crit as well? Because KT have got this
look at that shield
massive front line. Oh my lord. Yeah, can they actually manage to do enough damage to stop Perfect from just walking towards the enemies? Casting on a flank angle. Gideon also looking for a flank angle. That leaves no one in this mid lane, really, that can stop this push from KT. They do take the red buff. It's going to be secured. Teddy does manage to get it. It's now Perfect. Gonna get closed in and actually takes a lot of damage here as Gideon moves over. That's what the pros have. They have damage.
Okay, good chunk. Perfect heals a lot from that honey food. There's another one up there. Go grab it, Perfect.
Okay, but they put in so much good work. It's just all for naught.
So Spain gonna come in, a lot of healing. They both have a Spirit Visage, and the Chemtech Dragons just helps out with that. Now they're looking for a pillar on a Namgoon. This is so tense.
All right,
Casting on the
who's
flank.
going to start this fight? This Casting does get seen by this control ward. Gideon trying to throw poke damage over, but poke just feels so unreliable. With KT just healing up so much in the interim as Teddy sidesteps the Winds of War, stepping forward. A brief moment of impatience can be so dangerous.
By the way, he is very strong.
All right, Casting getting ran out here by Cuz. Just starts hitting him with a bat. This is so intense. This is game 5. The winner of this goes to playoffs. And Namgoon is going to make the play. He gets on top. There's another killer instinct for Teddy. This time he's not able to finish off the target in Jiu. He kites away. Casting gets into the backline. Teddy has taken down Perfect, though the top laners have been traded. Tibbers will be taken down. It's a 1-for-1. That's it.
Need to come in. Help needs to come in. Gideon's super low. And Jiwoo's already back to full HP.
That's not fair.
He has the Glutinous Greaves, and he's going to sustain more of the Elder Dragon. TP coming in from Roma. Both top laners dead. A lot of cooldowns burned. The Elder's still healthy.
Mega Cone. A possible angle here as a shape splitter comes on through, gives so much information. I feel late game, the Nico is so valuable just for that button.
The Pop Blossom's ticking really quickly.
Yeah.
It's not long until that's going to be up and available, and Jiwoo has nothing left.
Wait a second. Well, they're on the Elder Dragon now. Cuz is going to move on over. And Teddy, as soon as he gets here, he does so much DPS. Gideon in the back of this pit. Because the Elder does not do that much damage.
Back up.
Okay, Mega Cone angle, Mega Cone angle. They could get a Renekton in there. On top of that as well, Roma, don't press it just yet. Okay, KT just trying to keep them at bay. Who gets the Elder, and do they even look for the fight as Roma just gets into that backline? Who are wanting to try and find the angle, but Jiwoo is so safe. Still, they've taken down the jungler, and another Pop Blossom. This Namgun guy always finds his mark as perfect. Trying to get away, BDD as well, trying to escape, but the wrath of the Elder will bear down on KT. And I think they're gonna have to be waiting for a match against either BK Fearex or Nongxin, because the Bros are going to playoffs.
After such a tense back and forth, 5 whole games in our first match of play-ins, the best of the Rise group take down KT. Gideon secures the Elder, and Teddy just slides in and cleans up. Actually, I might have spoken too early. Elder still in pocket. It looks like they're going to back away. The respawn time is enough to scare them off.
All right, it's not over just yet. There's no need to make any comments just yet. As let's have a look at this fight one more time.
So a lot of time is bought here by Roma and casting, but Gideon is just laser focused on the Dragon with Teddy helping to secure it, and as soon as they get it, the dive in comes through, the Zeri is deleted, the Yuumi follows, and Perfect is so tanky, it almost looks like he'll be able to shake this off until the burn just takes him down.
I think so. He was like ready to leave. He's like, it's time to go, right, Juke, right? No. Not yet.
And now a minute where KT cannot fight throw at all.
Look at Teddy's items.
Oh, well, he's gotten more crit now.
All right, it's like a 50-50 at this point.
Normally you get the crit, then the Infinity Edge, but he's just working it backwards.
Yeah.
The Runans into this team comp, though, does go kind of crazy.
I reckon he's probably going to be able to find some value. But he also has a GA that he hasn't need to put into use just yet.
Yeah.
As Baron has been taken, the Elder still there for 30 seconds.
We have GA from Gideon, and we're pretty close for casting, but right now the Baron push, 30 seconds on the Elder. They cannot contest them, even with the tower to back them up, and they know that they back off. 2 inhibitors is going to be the cost that they have to pay. Can they do more? 15 seconds.
You have to look at this from KT's perspective. Possible devastation here with a loss in Game 5 after they had a lead at the beginning of this one. Jiwoo still alive. Does have a GA himself. Can they find an avenue in? Can they find the engage? And there is the Elder. So KT, look for an opportunity. BDD with the Justice Punch is just going to go backwards.
Look at Jiwoo taking this safe route towards the fountain. Really cautious about being up front. They know he is the primary target.
The Bros now, I mean, they still do have this Baron for another minute and a half.
Yeah.
But one Nexus turret. Teddy will be able to basically 3-hit the Nexus if they do get anywhere near it. As BDD going for a potential angle, but they are so nifty. They just get out of the way. BDD goes golden, possibly going to get separated as he flashes away, taken down to 50%. And every time Teddy presses Q, I'm terrified for someone's life. As Jiwoo going to get tagged by that Void Seeker. Perfect, look at that. I mean, he's a tank. Doesn't find the Q there. Supercharger just enough here to get Teddy out of the way as he avoids the Prowling Projectile there as well. But KT are still holding on. The Bros just, I think they're feeling a little bit scared of making this last play. Let's see, there it is! Namgun's never scared! Teddy gets that ultimate off, but Jiwoo just slides over the Nexus. Now it's KT's turn to try and find an angle, but BDD just gets cut in half. Still, Teddy might get taken down to the GA, and there it is! Perfect finds it! And now Casting's trying to get away. Perfect's going to respawn, but there it is! And Jiwoo's still alive, only Gideon is left up! And they have to kill him because there is only one Nexus turret, and now can KT win the game?
That's the question. They don't have much of a wave. Gideon can play interrupt. He needs to buy 40 seconds. We're going to see the replay. I'd rather see what's going on right now with the game.
Can we have a picture-in-picture, please?
Right now, we see Namgun goes for the play, but Jiwoo can just dash over the Nexus to get to safety and starts pumping damage in return. The taunt from BDD that catches Teddy does so much work. Right now, we see Gideon trying to clear out the wave for the Shadow Zone, the bottom left.
I think he may have bought enough time.
Yeah, I think he's bought enough time. They cannot end right now.
Or
It's 10
can they? I
seconds
mean,
for Namgun. The wave's
yeah.
still there. They do so much damage to the structures.
14 seconds here on casting, 9 on
I
Roma.
think they can't.
Oh, KT are gonna back away. Oh my God! It's a 42-minute Game 5 gigabanger.
I thought Bro had it. I was ready just to be like, they got the Elder, they won the fight, the game is over, and then the base defense from KT, but then the game is still going. We're getting some adjustments in items. The LDR has been picked up by Teddy. The GA was on cooldown. He's considering, does he want it, does he not want it? He's gone a shield bow. 100% crit has been achieved. We went backwards, but we got there. He's critting every time.
He's figured it out. All right. And now he's also cutting through some armor, which is also pretty handy. Might help him.
Yeah, I mean, the Terminus was shredding a bit, but I think the...
Oh, that's true, that's true.
The LDR has a lot of value here. We've hit the late game. This has gone beyond the late game. This is Bro versus KT, and it is absolute cinema. 25 seconds on the Elder. It was such a stalemate standoff before for that Elder, and we might end up seeing that again. Inhib respawns for KT in the mid lane, though, so they have the pushing advantage here, and BDD did just push that wave in the top.
Yeah, there are still going to be super minions making their way down that top lane, and there is a Nexus turret respawn.
Guys, it's once again...
Oh yeah, we're flipping.
The flanking Crocodile. Casting...
Oh, is he on that Megacone as well?
He just finds his way. He just sneaks into this area. He's ready on the Megacone.
Gets a control ward down as well. They know what's going on. Gideon's on the Elder Dragon.
BD needs to TP in before
Look
the
at
fight
the damage
starts.
Teddy does here. Like, KT
The
needs to
laser.
move in immediately.
The laser hits Gideon. He's kind of chunked out. He needs to pick up that honey fruit. They've spotted out casting.
Yeah, BDD looking for an angle here as they're just holding the Drake. They don't want to take it down. They don't want to go for a 50-50 as they pull it away. And now Namgun, can he find the Pop Blossom? It all hinges on him. Jiu is so far away.
Are hitting the base of Bro.
They're also conga lining towards the base of KT as well, as we speak.
Recalls are coming in.
Oh, they
Casting is going to go back to... And oh, the damage there.
Perfect, taking a fair bit here. But they do go back to try and defend the base. Here's the teleport in. Casting's getting a big old shield.
Namgun gets taunted.
Yep, that is going to be the pop blossom, but it doesn't do nearly as much. Still, they find the backline. Perfect, taking out Teddy. There's the Elder and KT. They've turned it all around. They're going to ace the Bros, and they are going to playoffs and joining their legend group brethren after the Elder was stolen away. They were so close. One Nexus turret away from defeat. They turn it on its head, and this could be the first victory for Jiu wearing the KT jersey, and it's in 5 games against the Bros here in play-ins for 2026. My God, what a ridiculous series.
On the cusp of defeat, KT find the window back into the game, and it comes down to a fated Elder fight. Jiu, the trust was put in him, he steps up and they find the win. Playoffs are on the horizon for this team, and they found their route there.
Oh my Lord, what an absolutely incredible 5 games of League of Legends here between KT and Bro. KT take a well-deserved bow.